Let's cut straight to the chase. You've poured your blood, sweat, and tears into building your business. The late nights, the missed weekends, the financial risks, they all add up to what you see as tremendous value. But here's the cold hard truth that nobody wants to tell you. Buyers don't buy stories, they buy systems. You might have spent years building your business, but if it only works when you're in the middle of it, they're buying a job, not a company, and they're not paying you a premium for that. So if you want to 3x the value of your business before you sell, I'm going to walk you through the exact framework we use behind the scenes to help multiple businesses exit strong. First, we'll cover how to build a self-optimizing business that runs without your day-to-day involvement. This isn't just about making your life easier, it's about showing buyers they're investing in a system, not hiring themselves for a job. Second, we'll tackle profit optimization. I'll show you how to create sustainable financial health that makes buyers salivate at your margins and cash flow. And finally, we'll build scalable growth systems that demonstrate future potential, because what buyers are really purchasing is tomorrow's growth, not yesterday's achievements. So let's get started. The first value multiplier focuses on solving a critical problem: how to remove yourself from the business without losing control. This is what I call operational independence. And let me be crystal clear, owner dependency is a valuation killer. If you are the business, if customers, operations, and decisions all depend on you, then buyers will slash their offers accordingly. Think about it from their perspective. They're not looking to buy a job. They're looking for a primed growth opportunity that's ready for expansion into new products, services, and markets. If they have to rebuild your operations from the ground up just to maintain current revenue, they'll simply walk away. You'll want to start by mapping the value streams in your business. This means documenting exactly how value flows, both how you generate demand and how you fulfill on your promises to customers. Make sure you focus on streamlining and automating the highest value activities. What are those 20% of activities that drive 80% of your results? Those are the processes you need to document and systematize. For instance, if you have a sales process that consistently converts leads, document every step. The outreach templates, the qualification questions, the presentation structure, the objection handling scripts, all of it needs to be captured in a way that anyone can replicate. It's important to call out that the goal here isn't endless documentation. It's crystal clear direction for the things that matter the most. Once you've mapped these critical processes, create centralized resources for each one. This isn't about dusty binders of procedures that nobody reads. It's about providing your team with everything they need to execute the highest value activities flawlessly and without your input. That means email templates, checklists, reference guides, client onboarding frameworks, all organized in an accessible system. When a team member starts a process, they should have all the resources, documents, links, and instructions right at their fingertips. So what happens if you skip this step? You become the bottleneck. Every decision, every customer issue, every process question comes back to you. And a business that can't function without you is worth dramatically less to potential buyers. Now let's talk about accountability frameworks. Without clear accountability, processes fall apart as soon as you step away. Start by defining who is responsible for doing the work, who's accountable for results, who needs to be consulted before decisions are made, and who should be informed after the fact. This is called a RACI framework, and it eliminates the constant "who's handling this?" question that forces owners to remain involved in daily operations. Now here's a critical piece that most business owners miss: strategic decision-making frameworks. Your team needs to know not just what to do, but more importantly, why to do it, and perhaps most importantly, what not to do. Buyers resonate with this type of strategic vision and identity. Reality is, if you do everything for everyone, you have no identity, and that's an expensive problem to solve. It requires restructuring not only processes and systems, but also culture, which can be extremely difficult. Healthy strategic frameworks empower your team to say no and build a strong culture and unique company identity. This has massive value for buyers because they can see exactly what makes your business special and how to both preserve and build upon it. The valuation impact of operational independence is staggering. Businesses with comprehensive systems typically sell for 3 to 4 times higher multiples than similar businesses where the owner is the business. That's not incremental improvement, it's the difference between retiring comfortably and working another decade. The second value multiplier addresses the question, what makes buyers see profit as scalable and sustainable? This is where profit optimization comes in, because buyers want high margins that are repeatable, not one-time windfalls or fancy financial engineering. This is all about knowing your unit economics, dropping low margin activities, and doubling down on high margin revenue streams. You want to build high margin activities that can be repeated over and over with predictable results. Let me give you an example. A plumbing company might take on a large $1 million commercial installation project. It takes 3 months, ties up significant cash, and is loaded with risk. Employees don't show up, contractors underperform, and commercial clients squeeze dollars wherever they can. They might also take months to pay their bills. Contrast that with fixing a toilet. It takes 30 minutes, all the equipment is right on the truck, they're in and out quickly, and the customer pays immediately. While the technician is there, they can upsell fixing the sink or a maintenance plan that adds cash without any added cost. That's pure profit. The question becomes, instead of taking on $1 million plumbing installations, how do you take on enough toilet repair jobs to generate that same $1 million in revenue? This is a scaled model, and your bottom line will increase by hundreds of thousands this way. Second point, to optimize profit, you need clear accounting and financial statements. This doesn't need to be complicated. Stop worrying about cost cutting and get yourself a good bookkeeper and fractional CFO to build healthy financial statements. You'll need systems that collect cost and revenue data to clearly show what your COGS, or your cost of goods sold, are, what your overhead looks like, and how these costs contribute to your profit. This is all about crystal clear attribution. What am I spending, and what revenue and profit does it earn me? This is exactly what buyers want to see. The better story you can tell here, the clearer picture you can paint on where future investments will have a multiplying effect on existing profits. Buyers eat this up. Next on the list is margin maximization. You need to look for every opportunity to capitalize on situations where you've already incurred costs. Using the plumber example again, maintenance plans, sink repairs, water heater inspections, these are all opportunities to generate additional revenue once you're already in the home. Think McDonald's. Would you like fries with that? It's no accident that they ask this question every single time. It works. Remember this important rule: cash flow is king. It's the ultimate valuation multiplier, and your financial systems should identify the key assumptions that drive cash flow in your business. Back to our plumbing example. If the technician has to stop at Home Depot every 3 visits, that's hours out of the day. Multiply that across 500 jobs, and you're leaving huge money on the table. Your financial system should identify these assumptions that make or break your business, so you know exactly what to fix to optimize cash flow. Bottom line here, buyers want to see clean, organized financial data that tells a story. When they can clearly see where the profit comes from and where the opportunities lie, they're willing to pay premium multiples for your business. Remember when I mentioned earlier about making it easy for buyers to see how your business operates? Financial systems work the same way. Clear reporting creates confidence, and confident buyers pay way more. The third value multiplier tackles perhaps the most critical question: how do you prove your business will keep growing after you're gone? Because buyers aren't paying for what your business did yesterday, they're buying what it will do tomorrow. What commands a premium valuation is a predictable growth model, a systematic approach to acquiring customers and expanding their value that doesn't depend on heroic efforts or lucky breaks. Let me break this down. At the foundation of any scalable growth system is understanding your conversion cycle. Views to leads to sales, close, and upsell. The magic happens when you measure all of this at the beginning of the sales cycle, not the end, focusing on lead measures of customer intent such as views and clicks rather than lagging indicators like revenue. Why is this so powerful? Because every step of the customer journey becomes measurable, allowing you to optimize content to get more eyes, more leads, and more closes. When buyers see that you understand these metrics and have systems to improve them, they immediately recognize scalable growth potential. Building on this foundation, your customer acquisition needs to be systematic. This means moving beyond the feast or famine referral cycle that plagues so many small businesses. Document the channels that consistently bring in qualified leads, the messaging that resonates, and the follow-up processes that convert prospects into customers. Then double down on them over and over. Consistency here is what creates predictability, and predictability is what buyers pay premiums for. Now let's talk about something that can make or break your growth system: your offer. Offers are critical and are based on perceived value of how well you can solve a problem. You have to directly target core pain points and speak to why what you provide solves their problem. You have to speak their language and show you understand exactly what they're thinking. Here's a newsflash: you can't solve everybody's problem. You need a clear customer profile, what pain points you're solving, why they should care, how long it will take, and how much it will cost. The more specific you are and the more pain they're in, the higher value offer you have. And this is what buyers want to see. After acquiring customers with a compelling offer, the next opportunity lies in maximizing their value over time. This is where a value ladder becomes an essential component. A value ladder provides logical next steps for customers after their initial purchase, ways to continue solving their problems at higher levels of investment. And that customer lifetime value on its own literally can 3x your business compared to your competition. Think about how Apple sells you an iPhone, then AirPods, then an Apple Watch, then a MacBook. Each product enhances the value of the others, creating a customer who's worth thousands more than someone who just buys a single product. That's the power of a well-designed value ladder. Now, supporting this entire growth system are your marketing assets, which need to be organized and measured for performance every step of the way. These assets, your website, your content, your email sequences, sales materials, are valuable intellectual property that buyers will pay a premium for if they're organized and effective. They're not just marketing tools, these are business assets that increase your valuation. Tying everything together is performance tracking, which is absolutely non-negotiable. You need dashboards that show the health of your marketing and sales systems at a glance. Conversion rates, customer acquisition costs, lifetime value. These metrics tell the story of your growth engine and give buyers confidence that results aren't dependent on your personal touch. In fact, KPIs are critical across all three of the value multipliers we've discussed today. If you can show that you measure everything, it removes all emotion from the negotiation and guides the buyer into exactly what they need to know to invest and expand to the next level. This level of transparency creates tremendous buyer confidence. The value impact of these demonstrable growth systems is profound. Businesses with systematic, repeatable customer acquisition and expansion routinely command multiples 2 to 3 times higher than similar businesses relying on random marketing efforts or founder relationships. And that's the difference between selling for $2 million versus $6 million. Life-changing money that justifies the effort to build these systems. When you implement all three value multipliers, operational independence, profit optimization, and scalable growth systems, the effect isn't just additive, it's multiplicative. A business with systems that runs without the owner, predictable high-margin revenue streams, and scalable customer acquisition is essentially a money-printing machine, and buyers will pay premium prices for that machine. The implementation timeline varies depending on your starting point, but most businesses can make significant progress in 6 to 12 months. Some of the quick wins, like documenting key processes or cleaning up financial reporting, can literally be accomplished in weeks. So here's what I want you to do next. First, conduct an honest assessment of where your business stands on each of these three value multipliers. Second, start documenting your most critical revenue-generating processes. Third, clean up your financial reporting to tell a clear story. And fourth, begin measuring your marketing and sales performance at every step. Remember, building these systems isn't just about increasing your exit value, although that's a powerful benefit. It's about creating a better business today, one that's more profitable, more predictable, and less dependent on your constant attention. The greatest irony in business is that the best way to build value for an eventual exit is to build a business that's so good you might not want to leave it. When you have operational independence, strong profits, and scalable growth, you have options, and options are what create true freedom. So get to work on these three high-value multipliers today, and you'll be well on your way to tripling your business value before you sell.